Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is definitely one of the most highly anticipated interviews. We're sitting down with the CEO of the Very Good Food Company, Mitchell Scott. Mitchell, thanks for coming in and speaking with us.
Thanks so much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
And everybody that has followed us certainly is well aware of who you guys are. We've been following you for over a year now. But as a simple reminder to anybody at home, if you are a Canadian investor, you can buy the stock with the ticker symbol VERY.V. If you are one of our American friends, the ticker symbol is VRYYF. And Mitchell, though most people watching this are well aware of what you guys do, if somebody is truly new to the story, could you walk us through a quick elevator pitch of what the Very Good Food Company is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the Very Good Food Company, we're trying to get millions of people to rethink the way they eat by providing tasty, delicious, plant-based food options. We have a few brands under our portfolio, the Very Good Butchers, which makes high-quality meat alternatives, and the Very Good Cheese Company, which is focused on dairy alternatives and cheeses. We distribute them in a number of different ways. We have a brick-and-mortar vegan butcher shop in Victoria, opening one soon in Vancouver. We sell online across North America. We're shipping out thousands of boxes a week. And then we're also in traditional grocery store, retail, restaurants.
And I had the pleasure of coming to meet you and check out the restaurant just the other week, and it was awesome to get to try all of the food. You're far better at preparing it than I am. And what you said is a perfect segue into the first question. So let's talk about one of your key sales channels, retail stores. So a lot of investors are asking about expansion into the US market. And I understand there's a bit of a lead time between first conversation with a retailer and when it's rolled out. So can you tell us a little bit about the process and the timing for listing your products in large US retail chains?
Yeah, absolutely. So US retail is a big focus for us. We launched into US retail roughly a month or so ago. And with a lot of the bigger banners, they have something called a product review period. Basically, once or twice a year, they look at the different product categories, see what's in there, and what products they might consider to put on those shelves. And that's when food manufacturers have the opportunity to present their products. Obviously, you have to be ready for the presentation. You need the product, the packaging, the sell sheets. Make that presentation, then they'll consider it. And oftentimes, let's say the product review period is in October, they won't be putting those products on the shelves until April. So what we've done is we've presented to all the major retailers. Some of them have been, some of the smaller ones have been able to list it right away. We're in, 175 stores in the US already. Some of them are, considering the product, had a lot of great feedback, especially on our new Butcher Select line. So it's just, it's great. It's a slower build. It's not just, here's a product, a week later, it's on, every grocery store shelf in North America. It does take some time. But we've set everything up nicely. We've got 8 distribution centers online in the US through KH and Unify. We're able to service every major American city. So we've really set up the infrastructure, and we're getting kind of new listings at grocery stores every day in the States.
Excellent. And in terms of production, obviously you need a large amount of new production to even meet some of the order demands from these large retailers. So amazing what you've accomplished with just the Victoria facility. Obviously, the Rupert Production facility is kind of the key thing that investors are watching. So can we talk about your Q2 production? Was there a limiting factor? Can you talk to us about when we'll see more production out of Rupert?
Yeah, absolutely. So we took over the Rupert Production space late January, and we had it up and running by April in a limited capacity. So that's a very aggressive timeline. So, that's moving into the space, renovations, getting equipment installed, commissioning. So April saw us kind of start up the equipment, test it. We had some saleable product come out of that. But really it wasn't until, later in Q2, late May, early June, that we were really producing at a bit of scale. So currently we're producing 13,000 pounds a day of product, ramping up to around 40,000 pounds of product per day by the end of this year. But there's just a scale up curve as you get into the weeds in production and figure out the equipment, the lines, the bottlenecks, make sure the supply chain is able to support the increased volume. So yeah, we really have made tremendous strides in increasing our production numbers over the past few months.
Excellent. And yeah, I hope to have a chance to come down and check it out for myself, and maybe we'll do our next interview down there.
Let's do it.
And okay, so other major facility announcement previously was in California, the Patterson facility. From what I understand, that's even larger. So can we talk a little bit about, maybe provide an update on where Patterson stands?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're actually, this month, we're beginning food production there. We're starting with our taco stuffer, which is one of our most popular SKUs. And it's kind of a commercial kitchen grade setup there currently as we build out a full production line. Full production line will be coming online early next year. And the Patterson facility is basically initially going to be producing what we're not producing yet at the Rupert facility. So that's some of our more kind of unique SKUs. So it's our ribs, our steak, our stuffed beast, some really crowd favorites that we're currently making in Victoria on a smaller scale. So scaling those up in Patterson is a big priority for us.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So, you guys have announced all kinds of new retail distribution this year. There's a certain point, Amazon, I saw that being something noteworthy we saw. There was a trial in Safeway. A few investors were asking, I know Amazon, there was a technical glitch. In Safeway, there was a trial run. Can you talk to us a little bit about, for one, some investors are asking, are the products still available in Safeway and on Amazon? Can you give us any context around that?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're still in the top 10 Safeway stores in BC. We're talking to them about expanding that into additional stores. I don't have a timeline on when that might happen, but the initial test, was good. Sales were good. People were enjoying the products. The Amazon site was down for a day or two due to a technical glitch, but it's back online now. We're having orders come in every day, and we just see it as an additional sales channel to kind of supplement everything else we're doing.
Perfect. And so this is now we're going to take a complete U-turn here, talking about financing. Something that I thought was really important to bring up in this video. So we did a financing recently, and you and I have discussed the rationale for why you put out what's called a shelf prospectus. But from a standard, retail investor point of view, they see this prospectus be filed on CDAR, and it opened up a lot of questions. People asking, is there a financing happening right now? I thought they just did one. What's going on? So I thought it was really important that we put this in here just to make sure it's very clear for everybody. First off, what is a shelf prospectus? And, one, does it mean another financing is coming? Just give us some context around the significance of this filing.
Yeah, absolutely. So a shelf prospectus is fairly common for established issuers or growth stage companies. And basically it just means that, when we go to do another financing, it's a more streamlined, fast, efficient, cheaper process. We will have to do another financing in the future to kind of help fuel our growth. I think if you look at some of the other, big companies in the space, they've raised a lot more money than we have. And we really want to be able to compete with them on a global scale. So, at this point, we're not fundraising, but I anticipate we will do so in the future in order to keep fueling our growth, to keep building production, distribution, and to really kind of compete with these other big companies out there.
Yeah, certainly makes sense. And for everybody watching at home, just understand filing a shelf prospectus is actually very common. And it's just something that makes raising capital, like you said, quicker, easier. So just something to keep in mind. So we're talking about, we've talked a bit about your, new e-commerce initiatives, retail stores. Something that perhaps is an entirely new area that we could discuss is restaurants, fast food chains, things like that. So are collaborations with these kind of outlets something that's on your radar?
Yeah, absolutely. So food service has always been out there. We're in a handful of restaurants already, just that kind of happened organically. And we've kind of been seeing how COVID plays out. Obviously, the whole industry, took a bit of a dive with COVID. We've got a few partnerships, one with Copper Branch, the largest, plant-based restaurant chain in the world. Also with Fresh Prep, a Vancouver-based meal prep company. We're talking to a number of other restaurants, and we see food service being an important part of our strategy moving forward. Right now, the main focus is on this retail distribution build out, so grocery stores. But I'd say into next year, we'll start, looking at and establishing more partnerships. We've already done a bunch of the kind of behind the scenes work on that, and are excited to kind of be pushing that forward.
Awesome. And in terms of your own restaurant, so like I said, I got to see it, and I got to see a tease of the new location. Excited to come check that out. It looks awesome. When do you expect that one to be opening?
Yeah, so the new one in Victoria, October 6th, we're doing a soft opening. Nice. And for us, the big thing was so we're currently in the Victoria public market. So for us, the big thing was getting into our own space, being able to set our opening hours, be open for dinner service, have a patio, have a liquor license, and just provide a more kind of cool, immersive experience in line with kind of our idea of a flagship store model. So yeah, we're opening this one in Victoria. We've got one we're working on in Vancouver. Long term, we want to have 10 to 15 of these kind of around the world as a marketing tool, as a brand outpost, showing people what we're all about, introducing them to the products, and supporting our e-commerce and our retail efforts in all these different regions.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, for me, sometimes I find the inspiration of how to cook with different plant-based meats and stuff is one of the more challenging aspects. So to go into the restaurant, and I mean, I think we all left there with a food coma from how much food you gave us there. But it was awesome to try everything from what we tried: poutine and burgers and cauliflower wings. Really impressive to see different ways it can be prepared. So makes perfect sense, and I can't wait to check it out when you're live in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, next question, back to the topic of scale. New facilities coming online. Obviously, there's a potential for economies of scale. So whether that means lower price point, whether it means better margins. Can we talk about this? I know you are a premium product. Do you expect the price point for these products to decrease as the company reaches economies of scale?
Yeah. So I mean, our whole angle has been premium pricing, like what you would find in a butcher shop or in like the high-end meat set of a grocery store. And as part of that, we're putting in, the best ingredients, the best, processes. We're crafting these really high quality products, and we're pricing them appropriately. I wouldn't be surprised that as we grow and achieve economies of scale, we're able to reduce that slightly. Like, we still want to be affordable, but we definitely don't want to get involved in a race to the bottom, with some of these other companies just pumping out the cheapest, lowest quality, meat alternatives they can.
Yeah, that's fair. And well, clearly the quality of your product is being well recognized. I mean, I just saw a press release go out that you guys won the Nexty award. So question number one, what is that? Question number two, can you just kind of give us some context around what that means?
Yeah. So there's two shows a year. One's called Expo West and one's called Expo East. It's the largest natural products food show in North America. So big show, and as part of this show, they have something called the Nexty Awards, where new products are submitted to these shows, judged by a panel of judges, and given a coveted Nexty Award. So for Expo East, which is actually happening, I think, this week, we submitted our products, and our new Butcher Select meatballs won the Nexty Award for Best Frozen Product. So it wasn't even just in the meat alternatives category, Best Frozen Product out of everything that was submitted. So incredibly happy with the award and the recognition, and that's actually one of my personal favorites out of the new Butcher Select line as well. Really high quality, great product, and it's great to see it being recognized as such.
Yeah, well, congrats, and I can't wait to try the new Butcher Select products.
Yeah, I'll have to get you a sample box here.
Yeah, perfect. Well, you've already loaded me up. I got this, and for my last question, yeah, I wanted to show my full allegiance to the stock. Nice. So maybe I'll. For the last question, I mean, the way I want to finish this off, you have a really vocal, really active investor base, which is amazing. A lot of truly, truly long-term supporters that certainly believe in your mission. This is your chance to kind of say a final piece to them. Is there anything you feel like you want to say to investors, something that they should understand or something you'd like to highlight? Basically, I'll give you the floor for this last one.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, first off, thanks so much for the support, over the past year and a half or even before, with our front funder campaign and everything. It's been really great having everyone invested and along for the ride. I think there's, an incredible amount of growth in the plant-based space in general. I think we're really well positioned to take advantage of that, not just in meat alternatives, but in cheese. We're constantly evaluating new categories as well. And we're really building an infrastructure and a platform to help our brands and other brands succeed in this space and give them all the tools they need to build a strong, high-performing food company. So really excited at the work we've done over the past, I guess 5 years, but especially over the past year and a half, kind of building all of this out. And now that a lot of this infrastructure has been built in terms of, production, supply chain, distribution, really excited to get more products. Our R&D team has an incredible pipeline of products. So really excited to release more products throughout this infrastructure and pipeline that we've built, and really excite and delight customers with, the finest plant-based products available.
I love it. Well, hey, thank you once again for coming to chat with us. It's always fun to hang out with you and pick your brain about what's happening. Again, investors at home, in case you aren't aware, the ticker symbol in Canada, Very.V, in the US, VRYYF. please do not hesitate to reach out to us, ask us any questions. We're going to do these interviews more frequently, possibly even a facility tour. Let's see.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to do this again. So Mitchell, thanks once again.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Kevin. Have a good one.